Welcome to Talk Fights. I'm Curtis Biggs. What fight fan doesn't love knockouts? They can be the exclamation point on an already dominant performance, or the eraser that can pull a fight out of the fire. Whether the result of a well-executed game plan, or a sudden display of power, a likelihood, or a surprise, knockouts are awesome. They take the judges out of the equation and they leave the viewer with a clear winner or loser. There's been a million spectacular knockouts captured on film, but I think in ranking them we have to go beyond just the punch or punches themselves. Who the fighters are, their records, where they are in their career, and of course the fight itself should all be considerations in labeling a knockout great. One of the ones very near the top of the list for me came late in a bout for the heavyweight championship on September 23rd, 1952. Champion Jersey Joe Walcott, born Arnold Raymond Cream, was 38 years old and had a record of 49 wins, 18 losses, and 1 draw. He was coming off 2 big wins over his old nemesis, Ezzard Charles, who he had lost to twice previously. In his first win over Charles, he hits him with an uppercut that nearly decapitates the Cincinnati Cobra. His challenge would be the 29-year-old Brockton Blockbuster, a tough and powerful volume puncher named Rocky Marciano. At this point, Marciano's record stood at 42 wins with 0 losses, including 37 knockouts. One of the victims among these 37 knockouts was one of my favorite fighters in the great Joe Louis. Unfortunately, Louis met Marciano late in Louis's career, really at the very end of Louis's career. He was beaten up on his way to the 8th round, where he was knocked out of the ring, knocked out, and subsequently retired. When Walcott met Marciano in Philadelphia, the champion weighed 196 pounds, stood 6 feet tall, while the challenger weighed 184, standing only 5'10". Both small by today's heavyweight standards. Both competitors throw jabs to open the bout. They get stuck in a clinch and are quickly broken up by the ref. A moment later they get stuck in clinch again, and again are quickly broken by the ref. This is a common theme throughout the bout. Walcott lands a nice jab cross a couple of times. Then a right hand and a left hook by the champion has the challenger stumbling around a little bit. He tries to tie up, but again is quickly broken by the ref. Walcott steps in and throws a beautiful, tight left hook that drops the challenger. This is the first time Rocky Marciano has ever been knocked off his feet. The Rock is up at the count of 5. A little shaken, but not discouraged. He continues advancing, throwing punches. Always throwing punches. But Walcott is no pushover and trades leather to end the first round. The next several rounds see the same action. Marciano throwing punches, walking down his man. Walcott throwing shots from the outside and generally circling to his left. Both were hard hitters, especially Marciano, who's known to be very physically strong. When they collide, they trade punches with considerable damage being suffered on both sides. Walcott ties up at the end of each exchange. Even though Joe is more suited to be on the outside, he's not afraid to stand up close and trade shots with Marciano. Both land shots from inside. Both throwing body shots trying to wear the other man down. A big right turns Joe's head. Walcott comes back with a big right of his own and another chopping right. Then a hook that staggers the challenger slightly. The bout continues at a fast pace, with Marciano chasing Walcott, eating jabs as he does. When they get close enough, they throw bombs at one another, both landing hard punches. Going into the championship rounds, it's been a tough fight, and it's definitely close. Marciano is cut badly under the left eye, and swelling is starting to become more apparent on the face of Walcott. Neither man can afford to let up, and neither really does, though Walcott does slow down a bit, become a little bit more hittable. Walcott continues to circle to the left, with Rocky plodding after him. Rocky throws his jab a few times from further away, but doesn't have a powerful jab like Walcott does. Rocky paws out with the jab. The moment that Walcott's back touches the ropes, boom, boom! Rocky crashes him with the right hand, then hits him with a left hook as he's hunched over. Let's have another look at that. Marciano, bending at the waist, stalking Walcott. A light jab that establishes range and brings the left forward as he pulls the right back to give that extra bit of torque to crack that right hand. He pulls back a bit on the left hook, but still pops him a good one. To be fair, he could have torn his head off if he wanted to. Despite the fact that Jersey Joe is asleep, hanging off the ropes, the ref goes on to give him a full 10 count. You can count to 100, he's not getting up. A dramatic, brutal end to a fight that Rocky was losing on 2 of the judges' scorecards. He was now the heavyweight champion of the world, a title he would never lose. He would retire at a perfect 49-0, including 43 knockouts, the only heavyweight champion ever to retire undefeated. He would fight Jersey Joe again the following year, this time knocking him out in the first round. Jersey Joe Walcott would never box again after the second Marciano loss, retiring with a record of 49 wins, 20 losses, and 1 draw, with 31 knockouts. The first fight with Marciano was judged Fight of the Year by Ring Magazine in 1952. It really was a great KO. Clean, out cold with one huge right hand, and then a half a left just for fun. But more than that, we have the heavyweight title. We have 2 very tough competitors. Rocky, historically one of the toughest. An undefeated challenger, a crafty veteran, opposing styles, the drama of an early knockdown, and a come-from-behind knockout. Does that make it the greatest knockout? I don't know. But it definitely makes it one of the greatest, and one of my favorites. See you at the fights. Alright,
Yeah,
my secret power is sadness. You knew it. Oh, throwing gloves.